What is your EDC when no one's watching? Let's be honest, there's some days when you're not gonna fully kit out because you're like, I'm just gonna head downstairs to grab the mail. I don't need to have my full matching pocket dump. But then if somebody pocket checked you right then and there, you'd be like caught lacking. Are you okay with that? I'm a 14-year-old male and currently don't have a job. I use my EDC around the house and for basic house maintenance that either my dad or mom needs help with. It's a good son.
Like, my wife forgets stuff all the time. I've been giving her pouches just so she can organize everything. And now she has like 5 different pouches that all look the same, that are not tagged or organized in any logical way. So she's rummaging through 5 different pouches.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Carry the Way, the weekly podcast where we nerd out about all things EDC gear and maybe try to teach you a thing or two while we're at it. I'm Bernard, the founder of everydaycarry.com, and I'm joined by our editor, Mikey.
Hello, happy pre-4th of July.
Yeah.
At the time of this recording.
Yeah, exactly. By the time they hear it, it's going to be past that, and we're going to be arrested and had a bunch of fun. So if you're new to the show, welcome. Here we talk about the latest in EDC gear, we answer questions from the community, and review pocket dump submissions from our viewers. And if you've listened before, we just want to thank you so much for the support, the views, the subs, the comments, questions, and all. So thank you so much. Yeah. Before we get into it, please give the video a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe for more episodes we publish every week. And then hit that gear icon and turn this up to 1.25x at least. Because Mikey's about to start yapping. Mikey, what's
Here
in
we
your
go.
pockets? Yeah.
All right. So we've been talking about the return of flashlights to simpler times. And that made me decide to bust out one of my older ones, which is kind of like a classic to me now. This is the Streamlight Wedge.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very kind of like me-coded because it's a very, very simple flashlight. It has a really neat rotary switch here, that you can see here. And it's dead simple. This is on, and this is turbo just by moving it forward a little bit, and that's it. USB-C charging, has a pen light style form factor. Just slips in your pocket. Clips a little stiff. Material kind of not that smooth enough for me, but it's fantastic. I mean, it's the dead simple kind of flashlight with a unique form factor that I really like. So this is really the only new thing I've been carrying this week. What about you?
This guy.
What's this?
This is the Pyrite CGRB Pyrite Lite. I got a bunch of Pyrites and I finally got this. I think we talked about it a couple episodes ago. I'm a big fan of the Pyrite, the original, but I just got this and it kind of surprised me. One thing surprised me about it is that the blade is longer than I was expecting.
Huh.
So
how long do you know exactly?
I think it's 3.3 inch, and then regular Pyrite is like 3.1. So I'll show some things real quick. Firstly, I have this like tray thing from JRW. So they sent some over for me to check out. And I didn't know what it was at first. And then once I saw how it's used, I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. But I have a bunch of Pyrites, and just for quick comparison, here is the one that started it all for me. This is like the steel handled one, dual thumb studs. And then this is the light version, but you can see the blade shape is slightly different. And this one is like slightly longer, especially when you compare it to something like the Alt.
How does it carry though, the light?
Haven't had too much time with it in the pocket. Just got it, I think, yesterday. But there are some things that I will look for. It's just like gripping it, because it's I think I mentioned I'm worried if it might be too flexy. Kind of is. And it has a more pronounced choil too. So that's going to be interesting.
You know what I think why they added that bit of length? It's because since the handle might be too light, it's just going to give you that extra bit of blade bias to make it easier to cut.
That's a good guess. But one thing that surprised me though is my Pyrite Alt in my Carta is like 60 grams. It's like the lightest one. out of all of them. And then this one, I believe, is like 89 grams or something, or maybe 80
Huh.
grams. And then the titanium is like also 90 grams. It's like they're very close.
So now it's just kind of like you're spoiled by choice. Just choose which one
Yeah.
seems like resonates with you.
Okay. Should I bring this up? We might as well. We might as well. So I ordered a bunch of these because I thought if I were to recommend what the best budget knife is, it would be the CJRB Pyrite Light
Mm,
because it is the cheapest one of the
it
family.
is.
So it's built
Yeah.
on this platform that I enjoy, right? So it's like a 3+ inch blade, button lock, and just really good action, and dual thumb stud. I think dual thumb stud is easier for people to understand if it's like
Yeah.
their first knife than something like reverse flicking a thumb hole.
Hmm.
But then your suggestion was the enthusiast version with a titanium
Yes.
scale.
I do because you're getting a lot more knife and I guess quote unquote value from just a slight just well it's double the price of the light, right? A
Yeah.
little more than double the price. But then that could be like a one knife collection already because you get like decent steel, you got titanium handles. It's a bit more on the enthusiast side. It has like nice details on it that like anodized hardware that you won't even see in a lot of regular releases. So I
Mhm.
feel like it's the pyrite to end all pyrites. It's the pyrite that unites them all because it has a little bit of everything plus that extra little flair on top. That's my argument.
Okay.
And
So
still under $100. So that's
yeah,
I think is
for context, this is this budget knife. The enthusiast one is, according to Mikey, a budget knife, but I think I paid $80 plus tax from
mhm.
Amazon.
That's not so bad.
Yeah, 79.99 plus tax for me, and then the Pyrite Alt, or the Pyrite Light
It's
rather,
30.
was on Amazon. It's on sale so it's $30.
Mhm.
So
Almost
$30 versus
triple.
$80. Yeah, yeah,
Almost triple.
and it's like
But then
the blade steel is the same also, by the way. So
mm,
you're really only paying for um, the titanium,
yeah,
and that's so. I'm curious what people in the comments think. Like it when you think budget knife, and then which one would you get? Is it going to be a titanium one at $80, or is it going to be this plastic handle at $30? And you get more blade
titanium.
also. Yeah,
Titanium though. Titanium
I don't
though.
know. I don't know. I'm thinking the people who watch this podcast are going to say Mikey is right. And then the people who don't watch this podcast and are just Googling best budget knife or something, and then they come to everydaycarry.com and they see a $30 thing that has like, my approval, they'll probably buy this. So I think the
You
data
should
will support me, but like
now.
the people will support Mikey.
There's only one way to settle this. You make a video showing off both of them, and
Hmm.
then let the people decide.
Okay.
You post
Well,
that.
when I do that, it doesn't matter what side they're on. They're somehow gonna like find a way to insult me. So I
Yeah,
think,
they're gonna say
yeah,
you mispronounced pyrite or
sure,
something.
yeah, it's like purite. Yeah, exactly. Um, so yeah, I think
Classic.
that's like the main thing that I have. I did get a bunch of other stuff in the mail, but it's not made its way into my carry yet. Um,
Mm.
we'll talk about something very soon, and it's part of what I want to do as far as my summer EDC, like building a more colorful one. Um,
Ooh, yeah,
and
looking
in
forward to
part of
that.
that, yeah, I am testing something from Ridge, but I can't show it yet. So maybe a
I don't
couple
even know
weeks,
what you're
couple
talking
months.
about.
Yeah, yeah, you don't. And then lastly, I have the Rolex Explorer 2 Polar. This is
Hmm.
like, yeah, this is like a family heirloom kind of thing, but I don't know. It's just like summer now, and just white dial kind of feels like it. So I could talk about this more, but we're already like 10 minutes of yapping before getting into the news. I am curious though, if people watching this, like I know a lot of you guys are into EDC and like knives and stuff, and we cover that a lot. But I'm curious if people are into watch content because leading to our first piece of news, it's not even gear related, really. It's not like a new release, but as of yesterday, let me share this. Um,
While you're pulling that
yeah,
up, totally random. I just realized I'm wearing a different watch today. I didn't realize this is the one I put on. I'm wearing the Ridge Field Titanium watch.
yeah.
Speaking of, I was like, I looked down. I'm like, why does my wrist feel different? And then I realized I was trying on different watches and I probably
Uh,
forgot to take this off.
You know, I almost put that on today, but then I ended up taking the band off and put it on something else. But
Yeah.
yeah, great watch. Anyway, the reason I bring up watches is because, say, like our good friends at Hyzer here, I
Mm.
noticed while I was on Instagram, uh, this happened.
Mm.
And I was like, wait a second. This video may contain graphic or violent content. Like that doesn't seem like Kaiser to post that. So I click see why, and it's just like we use technology to identify what should be like shown or not. And so it says it's not that it doesn't go against community standards, but it may contain images that some people might find upsetting, right? So if I choose to watch this reel, what do you think it's gonna be?
Oh my gosh. Gruesome,
Oh no!
terrible,
Yeah,
amazing knives.
yeah, they're knives in sheaths, and it takes a
This
while for them
is
to open. Yeah, and it's just like they're not really doing anything with it. Um,
That's ridiculous.
but
How can
yeah, it's censored.
this is well? This is really kind of sad because I've also noticed this for a bunch of other EDC creators. I've seen Metal Complex do this. I've seen Raven the Pirate do this. They're both kind of like in the in Instagram jail right now, and now
Yeah,
it's spreading to the actual knife makers themselves.
yeah,
Oh
and even
boy!
stores of knives. Like I saw Urban EDC Supply got hit with one.
Oh my
I don't think
goodness!
we've been hit with one, but I will say, like, despite us being verified and like all this stuff and been doing this forever, like our account is still not being shown to a bunch of people. Um,
Please follow us on Instagram, by the way.
yeah, so you can follow us on Instagram, and we'll try to post like your the EDC pocket dumps you guys are submitting to us, and like any short form and stuff we make and clips from the show. But maybe you guys need to start showing up on our subreddit or something, just somewhere else other than Instagram for like knife content and like anything that can be like remotely considered a weapon. That's why I'm thinking like on Instagram, maybe we'll do
Yeah,
more watch content. Maybe we'll do, I don't know. It's just like this is just kind of where we're at. Um,
yeah.
and I
But let
wanted
us
to
know
bring that up.
also.
Yeah.
Let us know also what more content because we're not just covering knives, right? We're covering the
Yeah.
whole breadth of EDC. So let us know also what you're more interested in. We can yap about pretty much
Yeah.
anything at this point.
So I have no good segue into our first news item. I will say
So,
Mikey picked this. This is not something that I'm recommending to people, but Mikey thinks it's cool. So
I think it's cool. I think it's
this
amazing.
is a titanium
Okay,
hatchet with a D2 axe head. What's
hear
going
me
on
out.
here?
Hear me
Okay.
out. I've been on like an axe binge, not in the tool sense, right? I'm talking
Yeah.
about in the tool sense. I'm not really an outdoor guy, but I've always loved like the form factor of an axe and of, you know, unquestionable utility if you're going to be chopping wood or if you're
Sure.
going to go outdoors and process wood and whatever you need to do. But what's the difference here is this is from our friends at Exceed Designs. They make the really
Hmm.
popular Tyrant utility blade.
Yeah.
So this is one
Oh,
of I reached
sorry.
out to them asking about their new products, and this is one of their latest ones. And if you think about it, it's pretty innovative. It's a replaceable axe head, full titanium
Uh huh.
hatchet. So it comes in two sizes. It comes with a D2 axe head in a bunch of different weights, in a bunch of different colors, in a bunch of different customizations, like the paracord. You can change it. And I just thought that, yeah, you're right. You can have replaceable utility blades, and it's completely on brand for Exceed Designs to have a
Uh
replaceable
huh.
axe head
Yeah.
for their hatchet. So yeah, I've just been enjoying seeing like the makers across the board, um, Winkler knives because of like the Jack Carr books. I've seen Montana Knife Company with their hatchet. I've seen Gerber have a hatchet, CRKT have a hatchet, and I'm just all hatchet pill right now. And then this is like the latest one I've seen from XC Designs, and it's I just found it really really innovative that it's
Hmm.
a replaceable axe head. I mean, these do wear out, and if you have like a standard axe and then it dulls and then
True.
becomes unusable, then you have a whole handle plus whole system that you can replace the axe head for. So I just thought that was really cool. That it's also a customizable thing, so it
Hmm.
kind of appeals to the EDC sensibility, and of course the full titanium handle also pretty neat. Yeah, and then you can customize the paracord and the sheath and everything.
Okay, hold
So
on. Well, first of all, I was gonna say, can't you just like sharpen your hatchet or axe or whatever
yeah,
if it
true.
like dulls?
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. But then if it like actually breaks down the line, then
Yeah.
I mean,
But
very unlikely. But
y-
we're
yeah,
talking in like 1% of 1%. But just like if you haven't bought an axe yet, there could be an appeal in something having, or if you prefer something like, if you need to store it, for example, and it's detachable, you don't have to deal with the full L shaped. You don't have to Tetris it into anything. So
sure.
yeah.
Or if somebody on Instagram asks us, "Hey, what would you recommend for a hatchet if I'm gonna fly internationally?" For some reason, everybody wants to
Yes,
know that.
that's the
Uh,
moment. That's it.
okay.
That's it. There you
So,
go.
well, Vine Boom sound here right now. It's $180. It's
True.
$180. The mini one is
I've I've I realized
$170.
I've realized hatchets are not cheap. So this is one of those
Yeah.
aspects of EDC that brace yourself. It's not a.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
looking at like the Winkler Axis and they start at like $600. I'm like,
Yeah.
Vine boom sound effect indeed.
Yeah. This is yeah, I mean, again, I feel like I always have to be the guy that's like, by the way, like this is not recommended for most people for EDC. Like, don't get us
True.
wrong. This is just
Yeah.
Mikey being a nerd real quick,
Yeah.
and just appreciating this like grade 5 titanium modular system with like cool,
Yeah.
interesting design language and like
And really, I really, in addition to just like being like hatchet pilled, I was just looking at Exceed and seeing what they had upcoming, and there's like modular axe. I'm on board. So tell me more.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
I
and
will
I
say
like.
I
Yeah.
yeah, I will say I appreciate just like a brand like Exceed. They're kind of known for that utility blade that's in like a titanium frame lock package. I just
Mm,
appreciate that they're making more products in the just general tool space. It doesn't
yeah.
have to like I wouldn't consider this EDC. Hopefully, like I don't. I
Mm.
hope people are not putting these in pocket dumps unless it's like my
My outdoor. Yeah.
extremely out of pocket
Strap it onto
outdoor
your.
yeah
Yeah. Strap it onto your backpack and stuff. Yeah.
yeah but cool.
But yeah, if you were ever wondering, if you were that guy thinking, I need a new axe, I wonder if there's anything cool out there in titanium that can offer me something like really, really cool, there's your answer.
Okay.
Or like Bernard said, if we're flying and you can
Yeah.
just buy an extra axe head when you land, as you normally do.
Yeah. So I think next we have maybe a more practical kind of
True.
outdoor option for the every person, right?
Hmm.
So this is the new guava flavored Leatherman Signal
Mmm.
multi-tool.
Tasty.
Yeah. Should I just like give this a lick right now? So I have a sample. I haven't put it through its paces or anything, but like
Mhm.
I've used the signal a little bit before.
I find that the signal is extremely underrated from the Leatherman. Like it gets left behind in the discussion of, like you're talking about the arc and the free and the wave
Mhm.
and the sidekick and all of those. But I feel like the signal gets like not enough love, despite having like a really really nice complement of tools. It's got a nice set of colors, and it's the only one with the carabiner plus the hammer thing
Oh, like
the
the
foot.
pommel.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
this for context, the signal is like Leatherman's outdoor oriented tool, right?
Hmm.
So like you have this sort of pommel here, and I remember using it to like what is that? To like hammer in tent stakes into the ground,
Mm,
like when you're
good
setting up
use
camp, right?
for sure.
And then I think it also no, I know it also has a ferro rod fire starter in here.
Yeah. And it's also interesting. It's got a combination of inner tools plus outer tools, right? Like, because the wave is all inner stuff, the
Yeah,
free
yeah,
stuff is all outer tools, and this one, the saw and the main blade is on the outside.
yeah. This
But
is
these,
outboard. Yeah, because
yeah,
there's a combo edge blade
and it's got a bit driver, even better
locking.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you get like Skeletool
yeah, with the
plus,
carabiner clip. Yeah, plus
yeah,
just a whole bunch of stuff. It is like it's not ultra light like the
seems heavy.
Skeletal.
It's always seemed like it's heavy.
Yeah.
Plus,
Um,
it's on sale now, 20% off. So if you want to
yeah.
check out the taste of the new guava flavor. I really, okay, as an aside, I really like the other colors that they've done because they're
Mhm.
very Marvel themed to me. Because like the blue one is like Captain America, the red one is Iron Man. If you click them,
Are you talking about these?
yeah, there,
Oh,
because that's red, white, and blue, and then the red
yeah,
one is red and yellow, so it's kind of like Iron Man colors. So I really,
yeah,
yeah, when those came out, I really, really like those. Plus, there's a cool, yeah, that one, the teal one. There's a nice like olive plus taupe, olive green plus topo one. There's a really cool one. There we go.
yeah,
That's a really nice one.
yeah.
Yeah, really,
These are
really nice
cool.
colorways. Very underrated for me. And it's on the more affordable side of Leatherman, full
Of
size
Leatherman,
Leathermans.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But still,
yeah,
it
of course.
is,
Yeah,
yeah. But I mean, I think Leatherman is really good when it comes to the multi-tool space.
yeah,
So
without a doubt,
hard to
without a
beat that.
doubt.
Yeah. And it's also good to just see a bunch of new colors, I think, especially colors that are, I would say, appealing to a broader clientele. I think
Mm,
that's cool
fair,
because
fair.
you get more people into this wonderful hobby of EDC.
And
Um,
it's also like you can't keep on making like iconic tools every year, right? So you get just like
oh yeah, you
having the
can.
option to
You just lock in, bro. Like, you just lock in and make like banger after banger. I think it's possible, but
yeah, and
probably
just
not. Yeah,
to like give some variety for people out there and give them options for the same stuff. Just have gives them that collectability, gives some like first timers many more options to choose from. Yeah, I just like that.
yeah, yeah. So here are some of
There's a
the
whistle,
outdoor. Yeah, there's a safety whistle, ferro rod,
huh?
and a
That's
knife
cool.
sharpener too. Um, that was like the more outboard tools that you see in like the yellow thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Grab
Um,
yourself a signal. Strap it on next to the axe.
yeah. So if you're trying to fully encumber yourself, then we can
Yeah,
put it all on the next one here. This is
yeah.
Heritage Kit Bag.
Okay, so this is a Gorak collaboration with Huckberry. They've done a few now,
Mm.
like the slicks and stuff. The Heritage line is their waxed canvas line of products, and I believe the specific colorway of the gray plus the leather accents is classic Huckberry
Mm-hmm.
styling with the orange interior and stuff. I've noticed a lot of people are getting into duffel bags lately, like this form factor exactly.
Like
They're
who?
using it as
I've not
like,
seen this in the wild. I don't.
yeah, exactly. I haven't seen it in the wild, but in like the carry communities, everybody's
Okay.
going like everybody's picking up like a duffel for travel for the gym. Do you have any experience? Have you ever like gone the duffel route? Has it ever been a form factor that appeals to you?
Yeah, I used the duffel. I think it was like an Air Gym Work duffel actually
Hmm.
many years ago when I used to lift more.
Hmm.
Because I needed like change of shoes and then like a weightlifting belt, which is like fairly bulky, and
Yeah.
it's not something you could just like throw into like a drawstring sling or something.
And your
So
5 pound jug of protein powder, bro.
yeah, no, no, that would give me bubble guts immediately. So as far as travel, I did use like a soft. It's not really a duffel though. It was like a It's just like a soft carry on, I guess, from Arc'teryx, and it didn't have wheels or anything. And you just kind of like slung it over your shoulder and it was for the leaders. But I
Ooh,
basically lived out of that when I was living in San Diego for a little bit. Um,
sounds like neck issue in the making.
Yeah,
For viewers.
I actually would just, and that is one of the appeals of the duffel, is that I would just hand carry it, because I have stronger shoulders than I do like, yeah, my neck and
Fair,
stuff.
fair, fair.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I did it. And I can kind of see the appeal of a duffel bag, but for EDC again, I'm kind of, I don't know. Maybe
Just
we'll pick.
widening the options. Just widening the options.
Okay, maybe next week's news cycle we'll pick stuff that's like actually recommendable for EDC for like a lot of people. Okay, because I think Mikey's like, he's like, oh yeah, let me pick this $275 wax canvas duffel bag.
But I just want to point out, this is only part of the news that we cover. You should check out our site because we cover, yeah.
See, layup for Mikey. Yes, there are more options in our newsletter and on everydaycarry.com in the weekly roundup. Yes.
Yeah.
We just think that these are like some of the cooler ones to talk about because.
And I also wanted to bring up to ask you about would you carry a duffel bag and all of that other stuff.
Yeah, maybe for travel, just because I think duffel bags are easier to just kind of like, set down or like pick up, toss around, throw in an overhead bin, that kind of thing. And they're so roomy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. What about this do you think makes this $275? The fact this is Goruck on it?
Yeah, that's one. People really like the wax canvas, huh? I've never been into the wax canvas, I will admit.
Yeah.
You got to tell me the appeal about wax canvas because I feel like I would just find wax stains as it brushes up against my body, and it would just
I don't think
annoy
it's
the
like
heck out
that.
of me.
I don't think it works like. I don't think there's like wax transference. Like,
are you sure though? If you have like a really heavy duffel bag, and it's like these are things that you also have to re-wax over time just to prevent to keep the waterproofing and the quality and the conditioning of it, right? So isn't there going to be slight wax transfer against your thigh, against your hip?
Okay,
maybe?
I cannot speak from experience because I think we're both the type of person that would have like ultralight Dyneema waterproof fabric that like crinkles up into a test tube. Like we're not using 10 and 8 ounce duck wax canvas. Yeah,
people should let us. People, I am open to feedback. I would love to hear from the wax canvas. Like you Filson enjoyers and you Carhartt enjoyers, tell us about the wax canvas because I feel like it's just gonna like if I'm wearing, especially if you're wearing like cotton or something, if you're wearing like jeans, wouldn't the jean indigo transfer onto the bag itself?
I don't know. Maybe if your jeans are expensive enough, that can. Dude, this is really not in my wheelhouse, but I know a lot of people like this, particularly because it has this like heritage, made in USA, buy it for life quality to it. So it's one of those like buy once, cry once kind of things. And that's like a valid strategy for a lot of people, right?
I do really appreciate that people really do enjoy the leather and the wax canvas, and it's not for me, but I do want to hear from people like what's the big appeal for you, and I want to enjoy why you enjoy the things that you enjoy. There you go. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So enough of us asking you guys questions about things that we don't know about. So let's flip the script a little bit and jump into our community Q&A. So we'll look through some of these questions.
I have a question. How do people send us these questions?
Oh, thank you for the layup. But actually, you interrupted me as I was about to smoothly segue into that. Every Monday, we will post on our Instagram story that we're looking for questions that you guys want answered on the podcast. So we will select a few of them if we can, usually around like 3 to 5 or whatever we have time for. So let's jump into some of these for today. Here's one from user Rude Krieg. They ask a sinister retractable blade that doesn't break the bank. I don't know if I want to touch this one, Mikey.
We were debating about define sinister.
Yeah, because to me, sinister in like archaic Latin means left side, so like left-handed people. That's why left-handed people. That's why left-handed people are not trustworthy, Mikey. I'm looking at you with your smudged ink hands. A
fair assessment. How How about we just answer? How about some cool utility knives instead
That are retractable? Yeah.
that are retractable?
Wait. They said that doesn't break the bank. I think Mikey's disqualified from this answer.
I was gonna suggest an $80. I'm just kidding.
You
Um,
were though.
I was
Yeah.
actually. Gosh, I totally forgot the break the bank section of this, but immediately the first thing that comes to mind is the outdoor edge sidewinder.
Mm-hmm.
That's like $5, and that comes in a bunch of cool colors, and basically everything you want distilled into like a tiny colorful utility retractable utility blade,
Yeah.
and you
But
can only go up from there. I think.
right, I think so.
Yeah. Do you have
I
any retractable
not
simple
not
ones?
one that's sinister if that means like easily operable by left-handers. I
Mm.
was gonna say that doesn't break the bank. I was thinking probably like Gerber Prybrid series. Those are
Yes, I love
generally on the
mine,
lower price, I think. Yeah, we've both
but
used
not
them.
friendly left-handed.
I don't think
Unfortunately,
so.
that
You'd have to like hold
no.
it upside down or something to do it, and
Yeah.
that's kind of dangerous. So,
Mm.
um, if anybody has an answer here for the
But
left hand interpretation of this question and not the potential other definition of what a sinister blade is, you guys can leave
but
that in the comments.
if you don't want to break the bank, I got a few. You got Exceed Designs, you got Rexford Rut, you got Riot, XOU, you got Aerocrafted. There's a
Mhm. There's a
if you're
lot.
ready to break the bank a little bit, there's a ton of them out there that are really cool,
Yeah, but
sinister or otherwise.
as soon as you start thinking about breaking the bank, your comment section, if it's anything like mine, will be like, just get a Milwaukee Fastback. But those are
Yeah,
not, those don't like slide up and down. Those are deployable like a folder. So
yeah, true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question, Rude Krieg. To be honest, I don't think we fully understood the question, but I hope that's helpful. Next, we got one from Ochan4450 says, hmm,
Yeah, you got
and
this.
I agree. I agree. Um, I think that
Just
is
before a long break.
that is
Exactly.
the best take one can have. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. We all need that reminder once in a while.
Yeah.
Um, so kind of related, Mamba Metals says, "What are some of your favorite pieces of bronze and brass EDC?"
Oh. You start with this because you're the one who did the long video on
I
brass and
did,
everything.
and I was using a retractable utility knife kind of blade by Millspin. It was that
Mm.
was solid brass, made in USA, and it just looks cool and worked well. But
Was it budget friendly though?
I think it's like under $50. I think it's around
Oh,
$40 for made in USA and like solid brass. Pretty cool.
that's not bad at
Uh,
all.
yeah, so there's that. And then, after I undid, or not undid, but rotated out my brass EDC, the one piece of brass that I left was the Ridge key case. Um, they are our parent company, so just disclosure there. But I did like something about the brass. It's like it like keys and brass just makes sense to me. Like and
Mm.
doorknobs, like that kind of like look and material
And
kind of makes
locks
sense.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And the reason that hardware is brass is because it's antimicrobial and I believe corrosion resistant. So if you have hardware that's like exposed to the elements all the time and like you're touching it and stuff like brass doorknobs or whatever, like that's the material that makes sense. But for me,
Mm.
just something about the brass like made sense with keys and doors, and it just also had that visual interest from the rest of my keys, which were pretty much all black. So like I could easily identify where my keys were because it has this goldish tone to it.
I don't know if mine is kind of cheating, but I mean, it counts, I guess. This is the Rot Ring 600 ballpoint pen, one of the
Mm,
one of the classics. It is a metal pen, but it is made of brass,
yeah.
and it qualifies two of the needs I need from a pen. One of them is I need them to be wide, and the others I need a bit of weight, just so my hand doesn't cramp up when I'm writing. And unfortunately, this only qualifies one of the two because it's very, very slim and narrow, but it does have the weight. So I'm still like, it's still very usable for me. And I think this is the only brass thing I own, like
Okay.
materials wise. So but I do use it a lot. So this is actually my main pen. So
Yeah.
this is what I'm gonna proffer up as my pick.
Yeah. So hopefully that was interesting. Thanks for the question, Mamba Metals. Next, let's see. Speaking of just only owning black stuff, even if it's brass, user back the blue asks, "What is your favorite EDC theme or colorway?" We can keep this quick. I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah. I will offer a second answer. Teal is my second favorite color, and it's also
Okay,
my wife's favorite color. So
nice.
black and then teal accents. I think it's just fantastic
Yeah, but do you own
accent.
any teal stuff in your
I do
EDC?
not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay, this dude's fake. He's just like making stuff up.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Well,
I have
maybe
teal
one day.
shoes. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Uh, for me, I like titanium, just blasted titanium, the like anti bling gray color. Just think it
Mm.
looks cool. It's clean, icy, and it lets the form of objects come through, like the actual silhouette, the lines.
While still having the functionality. So it's that
True.
that
Also,
balance.
true. And as a masochist, it's more expensive for just a
Mhm.
few percentage points of performance gain. So I have to agonize with every purchase. Like, why am I like this? And I think we all need something like that in our lives to keep us humble. So that is the true reason
Wow.
you should EDC titanium.
Wow. That's good though. That's good.
Okay,
I like that.
maybe I cooked. Okay,
Yeah.
here's another quick one from Yami underscore Brad says, "What is your opinion on pocket organizers? Are they useful or a waste of money?"
We've answered this a couple of times, but I want to refresh my answer a little bit.
Sure.
The way I pack, I have a bunch of different bags, like different slings and different bags, to make it very easy for me to make sure I have everything I need. I do
Mm-hmm.
have pouches, like tech pouches, plus EDC pouches, plus first aid pouches that I easily switch between bags. And for that, I think they're worth it because
Yeah.
rather than depending on the organization of whatever bag, if I had that heritage duffel, I can just throw all of my pouches
Yeah.
in
Plop
there
that in there. Yeah.
and done. If I'm switching to a backpack, if I have to bring my laptop, perfect. I know for a fact that I have everything I need with me because those are packed out perfectly to what I need. And just for that
Sure.
peace of mind. Like my wife forgets stuff all the time because she has different stuff in different bags that are not consistent. And
Uh
I'm
huh.
like, I've been giving her pouches just so she can organize everything. And now she has like 5 different pouches that all look the same, that are not tagged or organized in any logical way. So she's rummaging through 5 different pouches. Whenever we're traveling, it's like she has 3 different makeup pouches and
Okay,
stuff.
I'm gonna jump in here and just defend your wife
Take
real
it,
quick. She is not
take it,
here
take
to
it,
defend herself, and
take
how
it,
are you
take
gonna
it.
do her dirty like that? Okay, so instead to balance this out, how about I make you look like a fool?
Okay.
So all of that was in the context of pouch organizers in bigger bags. But if we
Mm,
read the question again closely, it says pocket organizers. And I
okay.
think that there is actually nuance there in that they're the like the
Oh, the
sheath things.
caddies.
Yeah, right. So
Okay.
a pocket
Okay.
organizer. So it keeps things in your pockets organized. So I think that can change the answer a little bit. And but regardless of whether they mean pouch organizer or pocket organizer, like a caddy, I still
Mhm.
think it depends like with everything else in EDC gear, it depends. Um,
Yeah.
if you feel like you want something that's essentially just grab and go, and you don't care so much about easier access, then yeah, like that's the trade off, right? It's going to be organization and everything being consolidated versus ease of access and like loose and free, and like you have them spread around your pockets. So
I don't have it with me now, but I saw somebody post in a group somewhere. He has very simple 3 piece setups, like a pen, a knife, and a flashlight
mhm.
in separate pocket organizers, and they're all themed. So he
Huh?
has like an orange set of pen, flashlight, and knife. He has a titanium pen, flashlight, and knife. He has a black set, and he just
Okay.
like whatever he feels like for the day, he picks it up and he has the full. He still has his 3 set, and it's like
Sure.
it's instead of like, and they're not all very expensive too. Like they're very. It's just like I like that he's created a hobby out of curating them and
Mhm.
still like covering his bases and like having something to organize and to like yeah, curate and to have some expression and collectability and have it all themed and all nice looking. And when he lay them all like in a row, like his 7 for the week, all different colors but all still covering his bases, I thought
He
that
has
was like a
7,
neat
one
use.
for every day.
Yeah, one for every day.
That's a more than I have like underwear. Yeah,
Fair.
wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
damn. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so then to quickly answer the actual question, are they useful or a waste of money? Just intuition answer. What do you think?
Useful. I'd say
Okay.
useful.
Okay, for me, I would say yes. I think yes.
Yeah.
So cool. And then let's see. I think for our last question here, Calloy C15 says, "Would you consider adding videos demonstrating functionality of EDC items to your podcasts or videos?" Now, this is a really interesting question to me. Yeah, of course, I would consider doing that, right? But the reality is, a lot of the time when the tool or piece of gear is used in the spur of the moment, I don't have my content creation setup handy, right?
Mm.
So that's why, so like, yeah, I will try to recreate some of it or do some like, cutting of like cardboard or like putting in my pocket or whatever. But where I get most of the like real world experience stuff, it's not in environments where I can just like easily set up a camera and like make that be the content. So we just live in this age where this is like the way that content is made and produced, and like these items are going to be discussed, because it's
Mm.
not so much um it's not as much like discussion forums where you just have to take people's word for it and it's all text based like it was like 15 years ago. So I think there's like this expectation of seeing video proof of some of this stuff, but it's like hard to do that at the scale and the cadence of the content that we make. So I try to like do it out in the wild and then distill my thoughts into a quick low context 60-second short form video.
Or this could be your signal to pick up a pair of Meta Ray-Bans and just have a camera on your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it would be nice if I wasn't tied to this desk for as long as I am and I could just go out and
Yeah.
really test some of this stuff in the wild. But I don't think
You guys aren't seeing the chains attached to our ankles right now.
I don't think we're quite there yet. But
Yeah.
duly noted feedback. I do appreciate it. And we'll cook up some ways of getting more of that type of content and context to the products for you guys, because I know that's like really important for a lot of people, and some other people they can they'll be the judge of it when they get it in their own hands, and like they kind of just want more of an overview kind of thing, and just
Yeah.
or some people just watch for entertainment. But
Yeah.
this
Like learning
question
about
made
a cool X or something.
yeah. Yeah, because I can't test everything. Like I'm not going to test like some tactical gear, like it's just not my world. But
Mm.
this question made me think of another question, where when I was thinking about like, yeah, if I'm using this stuff, I'm not in a place where I can set up my camera and do all that. So my
Mm.
question for you, Mikey, then, or maybe to the rest of the listeners, maybe just
Hit
to
me.
think about as a thought exercise, is what is your EDC when no one's watching, right?
Ooh.
Because like let's be honest, there's some days when you're not gonna fully kid out because you're like, I'm just gonna like head
Yeah.
downstairs to grab the mail. I don't need to have my full matching pocket dump. I
Yeah.
know some of you guys do that, but then if somebody pocket checked you right then and there, you'd be like caught lacking. Are you okay with that? you know
Yeah. Yeah. Honest answer, it's gonna be flashlight because I am
Mhm.
working on the other side of the world, and when it's your daytime, it's my nighttime. So my active time is in the
Sure.
evenings. So more than likely, you'll find me with a flashlight more than anything else, and a pen maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
knife.
Okay.
Yeah, knife not always. I carry a multi-tool mostly.
Mm-hmm.
I carry knives as a consequence of our reviewing and testing stuff. But flashlight definitely for sure is going to be the one I. If there's anything I grab off of my desk as I'm heading out, it's going to be a flashlight, or it's already in my bag. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
How about you? You didn't answer the question.
Oh, I mean, you know my speed. Armor
Yeah,
plates every day. Got the
yeah.
UAV aerial reconnaissance. Yeah.
Offense, defense. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it is. Yeah,
You know how it is. Yeah.
yeah,
So let's check some actual EDCs from our
yeah.
viewers here and submitters. So first we
Ooh.
have. Let me pull up the notes. This is from
Speaking of brass.
yeah. So this
Speaking
is
of Leatherman and
from
speaking of brass,
this is submitted by Being Human, and
who I believe is also in our Discord.
I think this is a Discord submission actually, and
Oh,
it's
cool.
the Olight i3 EOS, the Leatherman
Hmm.
Juice CS4, Fisher Space Pen in brass, a Sinkovic zero tolerance. I forget exact model,
Oh, 350, I believe.
perhaps, and then the Seiko SRP E51. So t- I love this carry, honestly.
I love it. Yeah, it's fantastic.
I love this carry. You know why?
Yeah,
It reminds me of the good old days,
I know.
right? Like
Remember when?
this is
Yeah,
not current day meta. This is
yeah,
like
yeah.
2015.
Because number one, you can't get the juice anymore. They stopped making them.
Uh-huh.
Sadly. Speaking of Leatherman and colors, this is the first time, one of the early times that they were experimenting with colors on their standard regular tools.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make that OLED anymore either. It's now
Yep.
replaced by the i3T. Um, ZT, I don't know what ZT is doing now, but this 450 is an all-time classic. This is like the Sinkovich flipper for a long
Mm.
time. Like if you wanted a solid, really robust, large titanium flipper,
Titanium. Yeah.
this was one of the
Gray moth.
grails, right?
Yeah.
And
This one's
you
good.
know, and do you have any background about the Seiko? This is actually kind of new to me. I
Uh
haven't seen the Seiko dial before.
no, it's like a Seiko. I think it's a newer Seiko 5 from what I remember.
Mm,
But I do like it. It kind of has the
I do.
face of more of like their diver type um
Yes.
ones, but it doesn't have like a dive bezel, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like that sporty dress watch. That's like my favorite type of watch, sporty dress.
Mhm. I
And
love
yeah,
dive
Seiko
pips.
5. Yeah.
Dive pips are my one of my favorite dial designs. So yeah, fantastic. Speaking of
Yeah.
brass stuff too, Fisher Space Fan in
Yeah,
brass.
and the bullet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's pretty good. This whole thing. And like yeah, there's something about like it's not all matchy. I don't know. There's
Yeah.
like different materials, different colors. This feels like an EDC when no one's looking. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a really good point. That is a really
Yeah,
good point.
yeah. Like I could
Yeah.
see all of this getting legit use, and like that's cool too. So
If you want to nerd out about color theory, though, isn't blue and yellow kind of complementary, though?
they are complementary, but
Yeah,
then
and then
other nerds
gray.
might argue that color theory is not real and just
Yeah,
yeah. So
it's just YouTuber influencer fashion bait.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
But no, I'm pretty sure Being Human knows how to put together
I
a good
really, I really
EDC.
like
So
that comment of yours saying that when nobody's looking, yeah, this is what it's, and it's clearly being carried too.
right,
Like you see snail trails on the Sinkovich and on the watch, and yeah.
yeah.
Plus,
But
these are like older stuff that are still being used, so legit. I
yeah,
like it.
okay. So a couple things I wanted to clarify. One, even if you do EDC knowing that you're going to post it on Instagram or like you want people to see it, that is okay. That is
Yeah,
okay too. Okay. Um, there, yeah, that's fine. If that's your speed, that's your speed, right? The other thing is one reason why this is cool because it looks so vintage is that like you don't always have to get the latest and greatest thing, even though the very first like part of our podcast is showing the latest and greatest. You don't
yeah,
need to get that. We're just appreciating it. There are people
yeah,
like this, like Being Human, that like get by with years old gear. That's how it should be, really. They should be so durable and functional that they last that long because
yeah.
it's not like um our needs for EDC tasks are rapidly changing to the point that like, an S30V titanium frame lock isn't going to work anymore in a couple of years, right? So I think we're kind of joking a lot during this podcast, but that is a sincere statement. Yes.
Yeah.
So
appreciate everything, old or new, Hatchet or otherwise. We like all of it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see.
You guys are going to be searching for hatches after the show. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Search interest for hatchets gone up with Google search trends.
Okay, so our next submission is from Arctic Blue. Simple carry. This is a half-face blades cav folder, the Olight Arcfeld Pro with a cool lanyard thing, and the Montana Knife Company Cross Tactile Turn bolt action pen.
Wow, these are a bunch of brands we haven't featured before, plus crossovers into brands that we do know are like main EDC type brand. Let me explain. Like there's a whole segment of gear that is like kind of like a different world from regular EDC stuff. Like, there's a whole segment of knives and bags and like heritage outdoor hunting stuff. There's a whole like industry out there, veteran made stuff that's like never really crosses over into regular quote unquote EDC stuff. So half face blades is one of those things. I've only heard about them mainly because of like the Jack Carbucks as well. But let me just double check what the name of the Andrew. There you go. Andrew Arabito is the founder of Half Face Blades. He's also a veteran, and he makes like really cool karambits. He makes folders, as you can see here. He makes like a bunch of hunting and outdoor and tactical stuff. So this is actually like pleasant, nice line, a pleasant surprise to see one of his stuff like from that side of the industry showing up in regular EDC stuff. And I think I showed off my Montana Knife Company
fixed blade,
lightweight fixed blade, and I didn't even realize that they collabed with with Tactile Turn. So another crossover between kind of not so Venn diagrammed brands.
Yeah. So one way I kind of think of this, this is just because of my job, I guess. Like I think you're describing like outdoor retailer brands versus SHOT Show brands versus like Blade Show brands.
Blade Show. There you go. That's exactly it. You got it perfectly. Yeah.
So the types of brands I would exhibit at those places.
Yeah, this is them meeting in a restaurant after all three of the shows. Perfect.
So
that's perfect.
What's cool about this particular pen? So this is Tactile Turn's EDC bolt action. So it's a bolt action mechanism. Tactile Turn makes really good machined pens, and then they got the knurled grip here. It's high vis orange. It's like glossy black finish. Really cool contrast.
Correct me if I'm wrong. On our episode with Ed, if you guys haven't seen that, you should check out that episode about we nerd out about pens. I believe, didn't he say that it's a lot easier for them now to do custom stuff? That's why it's more possible for them to do collaborations with other brands and having
and
like
they do seasonal.
Yeah. And it's easy for them to do like these branded stuff, like on the clip. You can see Montana Knife Co. on the clip and stuff. So yeah, I love me a good brand collaboration, and suddenly an Olight out of nowhere.
The Arcfeld Pro. So this is the one that has the flashlight, the UV light, and the laser pointer in the candy bar form factor. So I think that this is like a polarizing light, maybe.
Is it? I find
it's pretty popular actually, so maybe not polarizing. Maybe not polarizing. People have intrigue, I guess. I think that's people ask us about this light a bunch. I actually just ordered one before this podcast because I saw that there's a titanium one that's blue.
No.
Yeah.
This one limited? Oh no, okay.
It's limited.
We'll talk about that offline.
It's like $140. I don't know. I just thought it was cool because I mentioned I was trying to build my like colorful summer EDC. And
nice.
Yeah. So.
But I think I haven't heard of. I've seen UV plus normal flashlight, but with a laser, I think that's kind of like a unique value prop to add to a
Yeah,
flashlight. Yeah.
because yeah, when you think flashlight, you're just thinking like white light, but
Yeah.
light
Just like
comes in other forms and has uses, right?
just don't
So
point it into the sky. Just
yeah,
be
or
careful.
into people's eyes and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Point it straight down.
yeah. So thank you for this submission from Arctic Blue.
Yeah. Sweet. I want to see more half faceplate stuff.
All right, let's move on to our next submission. We got this one from someone named Mikey. This looks lame. We can skip that one.
Hey, I like
Yeah,
that's
so
okay.
yeah. Okay, no, actually, really quickly, we can look at Mikey's submission real quick.
Yeah.
What was the theme of this, Mikey?
I just put together all of my favorite black titanium stuff because I can't, if you know, like I said, we made a video about this, and it's
Yeah.
like, if you can't choose between black and titanium, just get both.
Yeah.
So generally, titanium in its raw form is silver gray, like you were saying earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and you can coat it in a bunch of different ways. There's DLC coating, there's PVD coating. So this is kind of just like a mix of all of them. Most of
Mm-hmm.
them are PVD because black DLC is kind of expensive. The watch
Yeah.
would be black DLC, for example, but
Yeah.
yeah, the rest of them are PVD, which is it's like a gaseous form of gaseous application onto the metal itself. I
You're
don't know
talking
the
about PVD?
technicalities.
Yeah,
PVD, yeah,
physical vapor deposition. So
yeah. The paint,
wait,
yeah,
I'm not gonna explain what PVD is.
yeah.
Yeah, because
We'll look it up.
you're like turning
Yeah.
like the coating into gaseous form,
Yeah.
and then you're
For better
depositing it.
adhesion onto the metal or something like that. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know. I just like it. Just the fact that it's black plus titanium. Yeah. Get the best of all worlds for me.
yeah, and then one thing I will note is that this EDC has insane fidget factor,
Mm,
just across the board here.
you know how
But
it
yeah,
is.
if you're interested in more of this, Mikey made a video. I lended my voice, and that's somewhere on one of our social channels. So
Yeah.
be sure to check us out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. We're there too. But let's move on. So this one is from Bubby119 on Reddit / Godly8147 on our Discord. And they preface this with, I'm a 14-year-old male and currently don't have a job. I use my EDC around the house and for basic house maintenance that either my dad or mom needs help with. It's a good son. I'd like to add some Knipex XS, a flashlight, and get a better pen. And I'm also on a budget because I'm younger. So no Gucci gear yet, LOL. That's okay, man.
I beg to
Yeah.
disagree. This is all you need, pretty much.
Yeah. So
talking about pocket caddies and talking about gear when nobody's looking. This is actually like the perfect example for it, honestly.
Yeah, this one's like honestly pretty heat. So to go on, they say I use my EDC at least once every day, whether I'm breaking down boxes or need to quickly tighten a loose knob. I have goals for my EDC, like adding some Knipex XS and better Fisher Space Pen or something. And then an example of housework, he used his EDC today, had to hang some chicken wire and use the parcel hooks to bring the tie through the stick on the post. That is sick. So they're talking about this little implement on the back of the Swiss Army knife that not many people know like what it's for. It's like this little like hook thing that
Like a
sticks out 90
like a hanger
degrees.
hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the parcel hook, it's kind of like you can hold shopping bags together or like shopping bags. Is that what I said? Yeah. Or the twine of like a bundle of newspapers or something. It's just like an easier way to grab onto that. And then you use the entire Swiss Army knife as like the handle. So it's not a lot of pressure into your fingers trying to carry just like
you're
twine.
holding the Swiss Army knife like this, and then the twine is sticking out of that.
Yeah. So as far as any comments or questions, they asked, they're looking for a budget knife sharpener or a budget and easy way to get into sharpening. Any ideas? I'm also looking in getting an SC Izula. Thoughts on it?
How is somebody so young knowing
good taste.
the really good stuff?
Yeah, good taste.
Yeah.
Maybe they read everydaycarry.com. Who knows?
Yeah. So first of all, I appreciate this as much as any other carry. Like Casio digital watches are some of the best value, like
so
insane
this is the
value.
F105. Yep.
Yeah. derivation of the, or like a brother to the F91 that's a bit more popular. That's also black and blue and in this form factor. But I love all of these. They're very very lightweight. I know military guys who use this on deployment, so it's legit. So
Yeah, and
that's
affordable.
one.
Yeah.
And two, like 91 millimeter Swiss Army knife,
Yep.
impossible to go wrong with it.
This is
Impossible.
actually my favorite Swiss Army knife. This is the Super Tinker. So
Oh
I
yeah,
probably
yeah.
wouldn't get it in red Celador.
Mm.
But yeah, this one I feel like has all the tools you need. So I really like
And
this one.
nice use of the pocket organizers. Perfect
Yeah.
timing.
So this is
Yeah. So,
Poplov leather pocket organizer, just simple
mhm.
slip and a slots for the Parker Jodder, which is also another classic
Another
EDCable
classic.
pen. Yeah.
You know your stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and Craft and Lore. That's also one of the brands we've featured over the
Mm-hmm.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Craft and Lore wallet. Yep.
definitely a reader. I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think to answer his questions, what budget knife sharpener? One of our writers, Jonathan, is probably going to say, get some sharpening stones. Those are going
Yeah.
to
Just
be learn.
yeah.
And
I mean, so you're
perfect.
young, you have time, you can like learn that skill. So
Plus, if you get an SA Izula, that's a perfect thing to practice on because it's a fixed blade,
sure.
and
Yeah.
yeah, you don't have any, you don't have to disassemble anything to get
Mhm.
started and sharpening it. Sharpening stones are probably the most. Get a couple of, I believe you need like four just to get a good breadth of it. You
Mhm.
get four different grit types with increasing grit number, and then you can, yeah, if you get an Izula, it's perfect. You can practice on it. Um, yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's the recommendation.
Yeah. I
You can
think
get all of those on Amazon also, so if that's
yeah.
convenient for you.
So the Azula is just like a solid classic fixed blade. So
Yeah,
I think it would be a good complement to your Swiss Army knife too if you need to do like harder tasks when you're helping around the house or something.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if you're the person who's actually using it every day
Mm-hmm.
and you need a bit more, wear and tear capable knife, no moving parts, nothing, no, if it needs to get gunked up and stuff, it's easier to clean and easier to sharpen and all that. So yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
So if any of the viewers out there have suggestions for Bubby 119 when it comes to uh, affordable ways for a 14-year-old to learn how to sharpen, let us know in the comments. But other than that, thanks for the submission. And I think you got something good here. So don't sell yourself short. Uh, yeah, I
Absolutely
hope
not.
you get that Fisher Space Pen, Knipex, Cobra pliers. Um, and it'll be a banger, even more of a banger EDC. So thank you for that submission. And if you guys want to have your EDCs featured, we will have the link to our submission form in the show notes as well in the YouTube description. So I think that that just about wraps it up for today's episode. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion. And if you did, please subscribe. If you're listening through a podcast service and you really enjoy what we do here, please consider leaving a review and a positive rating, as it would really help the podcast. You can follow us on social media for more content daily on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and all of that will be linked below. And if you want to be part of our EDC community, feel free to hop into our Facebook group or Discord server for more real-time discussion with other EDCers. And lastly, if you have any feedback for us or questions you want answered on the show, you can shoot us an email at podcast@everydaycarry.com. Thank you so much for listening to Carry the Way. I'm Bernard.
Mikey.
And until the next one.
Axis.
This guy. All right.